Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So a few weeks ago, I dropped my latest cinematic video titled This Is My Story, and you can watch it here, click here to watch. A few of you requested for a quick behind the scenes video, so this is it. So what I'm going to do today is to bring you guys through my timeline, and in between I'm going to add in some video segments of vlogs that I took while I was shooting this video. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's hop into the computer and get started. So as you can see, this is the editing timeline. Clearly, I'm not great at organizing my timeline just yet, but it is a work in progress. Essentially, everything above this line here is a video file, and everything below this line is an audio file. The different colors are just labels to help me visualize the different types of videos and audio effects. Before I dive into the details, let's watch the video once through, along with the timeline in real time. Telling stories through visuals has been my passion for coming to 6 years now. I posted my first photo on Instagram in early 2017. I made my first YouTube video in 2019. But this journey really started 10 years ago when I picked up a camera for the first time on a family trip to Taiwan. Initially, it was just out of curiosity, but over time, as I grew and developed my craft, I began to fall in love with it more and more. And the rest, as they say, is history. This video is a showcase of everything that I've learned over the past 6 years. I know I still have a long way to go, but I'm happy with the progress that I've made so far. To me, this passion isn't just about taking photos and videos. More than that, it's about the memories I've been able to capture and the people whom I've had the privilege to share this joy with. I don't know yet what the future holds or whether I will eventually take the leap and pursue this full time, but I will continue working on this craft to shoot better, to edit better, to tell stories better, and I'm excited to share that journey with you. Stay tuned. Alright, so now I'm going to take you through some of the more significant parts of the timeline and the effects or transitions involved. This starting segment here is actually just an extremely underexposed shot of my room with an adjustment layer over it. It was to fix an exporting issue that messed up the rendering of a specific frame early on in the video. I used this method to get around it so that the messed up frame will be too dark for viewers to see, and it will not affect the rendering of the actual start of the video. This audio track here is just a wind sound effect. I used it here before any visuals came into play to kind of preempt viewers to become aware of the auditory aspect of this video. Next, we cut to this opening scene in my room. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be shooting the intro sequence of the video, which is basically here in my room, and I have changed up some stuff on the desk to make it look a little bit neater, and the idea is basically to draw more attention to the desk because that's where I'm going to be doing most of the part what I'm talking about. The idea is to keep the whole room kind of minimalistic so that it draws more attention to the desk because that's where a majority of the action is going to be happening in this scene. So we've got like two lenses. One is wide angle for the opening shot, and then the other one will be this 50mm to get that nice 1.8 bokeh for some close-up shots. So the idea is it will start like it's a wide angle shot and the room will be dark, and then this thing is going to come on, and then the computer is going to come on, this is going to come on, and as well as the fairy lights, for which we have to change the battery as well. Then yeah, that's basically it. And then there's a part where I have to open this cupboard over here and take out a book, which is, yeah, you guys have seen in the video, but I will need someone to help me to film that part. But yeah, that's basically what we're doing today. Okay, we just finished shooting the first segment, kind of racing against time here because the batteries on this are like running out really fast. It's like 10 meters long, so the battery drains like super fast. So and for this as well. Anyway, for this next section I had to clear out my entire cupboard. Yeah, all the stuff is there, but yeah, I had to clear out everything inside so that I can put a camera inside to get from the inside of the cupboard perspective for me taking out something from inside the cupboard. So yeah, I actually made quite an amateur error when filming this scene. I forgot to match the shutter speed in my camera to the frequency of my desk light, which actually led to some pretty bad bending in the video, which you can notice if you look carefully and after I turn off this layer. I tried to get around this by duplicating this video layer, shifting it to the right by 1 frame, and reducing its opacity to 50%. This did not completely solve the problem, but did make it less noticeable. Also, an unintended effect was this dreamy motion blur effect that I ended up liking a lot and decided to keep in the final edit. These brown audio clips are the audio effects I added for this scene. Every page flip and door opening are added and edited individually. I'll turn off the music and voiceover and play it through once with just the sound effects. For each of these audio clips, I like to play around with parameters like pitch, level, audio gain, and surround reverb. A particular surround reverb preset I like to use is somewhere not here. Varying these parameters help me to make sure each audio clip sounds unique and more realistic, rather than an artificial copy-pasted sequence of sound effects. This next transition is a moving into the screen effect. I achieved this by recording my screen playing through the timeline in Premiere, and then matching up my camera movement with the following clip of the drone flying through the Helix bridge behind me. I added this turbulent displace effect on both clips and adjusted the amount, evolution, and direction settings to distort the screen and create this cool, dreamy wobble effect. More and more. And the rest, as they say, is history. The audio you hear was achieved with 4 layers of sound effects. This first layer is a digital gong. This second layer is a wah. This third layer is a digital screech. This fourth layer is an electronic pulse. Together, they sound like this. I also needed this segment of sound to be loud, jarring and dissonant to help me to easily transition between the smooth, calming music in the intro sequence to the slightly more hyped up music that is beginning to build up in the main body. This next sequence of clips was kind of a throwback to my previous videos with the titles in the bottom left. Editing wise, the only thing worth mentioning here is a simple trick I like to use to add movement to videos digitally in post. Since this video was edited in a wide aspect ratio and my video clips were shot in a regular 16:9 ratio, I had space above and below to play around with the position of the clips to add some up and down movement. For example, in this time lapse of the sunrise, it is actually a static shot, but I used keyframes, one at the start and one at the end of the video, to animate the motion of this clip. If I play through this clip, you can actually see that the Y value of the position parameter is increasing gradually. I'm actually displacing this clip downwards over time, making it seem as if the camera is moving upwards, adding a little bit more dynamism to this shot. This segment of me in the train station, followed by the hyperlapse of Victoria Concert Hall, involves what is called time remapping. If I expand this train clip over here, you can see that I have created various keyframes to adjust the speed at which the clip is being played. This line over here is actually a speed time graph to help me visualize that. As you can see here in the effects controls panel, the speed of the clip increases from 100 to 300% right about when the train just enters the frame. Then, as it passes through the frame, it quickly decreases back from 300% to 50%. Then, towards the end, the speed ramps up again to quickly lead into the transition into the hyperlapse that follows. Overall, this is what it looks like. The transition into the hyperlapse is a simple digital zoom out with a little bit of directional blur added to the clip. Alright, hi guys, we're here at Victoria Concert Hall. Actually, we walked past Lau Pa Sat just now and managed to try to take a time lapse of there was a clock above Lau Pa Sat there also. So I just tried, but there was a lot of people there, so I didn't really put down a camera on the floor to record me shooting it. The problem today is that the weather is really bad, it's very cloudy. I actually came at this time because I wanted to capture the golden glow on this clock tower, but clearly there isn't much of a glow. So basically what a hyperlapse is I choose a point on the building, let's say the top of the building, to be a reference point, and then I take many photos at different points along a line. So what I'm going to do is from there all the way until through that bridge behind me, I'm going to take one shot and take one step and take one shot and take one step and just repeat, and then stitch it together to make a time lapse sort of thing. So yeah, let's try that. In terms of sound design, I have 3 sets of audio clips. The clips in yellow are train sounds. The clips in pink are effects, and this brown clip over here is a bell. There are 2 train sound effects. One is a traditional train, and the other is a high-speed train. Here, I also make use of panning by making the effect sound louder in the left ear, then panning over to the right ear, just like how the train is moving from left to right. For effects, I have a riser to build tension, a descending pulse, a slow whoosh, and a bass impact sound. This is what it sounds like together. During the hyperlapse itself, I also added some quicker whoosh sounds matched according to the bars on the bridge passing overhead. I also did something similar for many other parts of the video subsequently, such as during this hyperlapse. This transition over here was actually one of the more simple ones to edit in this video. Towards the end of this first shot of my feet, the camera pans towards a nearby bush. In this second shot, the camera pans from a different bush in a different location. In post, I just matched up the starting and ending frames to look similar and did some time remapping work to match the speed of the ending of the first clip to the start of the second clip. The next big chunk of the video is mostly repeats of the same techniques I have already covered. The last transition I want to talk about is the gradient wipe, or what some call the luma fade transition. I used this on 2 occasions, one here and one here. I think this one is more interesting, so let's talk about this one. The first clip is a hyperlapse of the helix bridge in the daytime. The second clip is a hyperlapse of the helix bridge on a different day, but at the same focal length in the nighttime. Using the gradient wipe effect, I keyframed the transition completion parameter and inverted the gradient to fade in the dark portions of the clip first, creating this cool day to night transition. So that pretty much does it for this behind the scenes look into my video. If you watched all the way till here, a huge thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.